In the sweltering heat of a bustling city street, where the aroma of sizzling street food mingled with the exhaust fumes of endless traffic, a young woman named Elena wiped the sweat from her brow as she served yet another indifferent customer from her rundown food truck. Her hands, calloused from years of chopping vegetables and flipping burgers under the relentless sun, moved with mechanical precision, but her eyes held a quiet storm of exhaustion and unspoken dreams long buried under the weight of survival. Little did she know that on this ordinary afternoon, a man in an impeccably tailored suit would step into line, his presence a stark contrast to the crowd of hurried office workers and tourists, and with a single whisper, he would unravel the threads of her forgotten past, forcing her to confront a love she thought had vanished forever. If you believe in the power of kindness and second chances, hit that like button, drop a comment below sharing your own story of unexpected reunions, share this video with someone who needs a reminder that life can surprise us, and don't forget to subscribe to Moments of Love for more heartwarming tales that celebrate the human spirit. Elena's life had not always been confined to the narrow confines of her food truck, a battered relic she had inherited from her late father, who had poured his soul into it before illness claimed him far too soon. Back then, as a bright-eyed teenager in a small coastal town, she had dreamed of becoming an artist, her sketchbooks filled with vibrant drawings of sunsets and seascapes that captured the essence of freedom she so desperately craved. But dreams had a way of crumbling under the harsh realities of life. Her mother's sudden departure left her family in ruins, and by the time she was 18, Elena found herself thrust into the role of provider, abandoning her aspirations to keep the food truck afloat and support her younger siblings through school. The days blurred into a monotonous grind, waking before dawn to source cheap ingredients from wholesale markets, battling the competition from flashy chain restaurants that seemed to sprout overnight, and smiling through the pain as customers complained about prices or portions, never once seeing the human behind the counter. Her truck, once a symbol of her father's pride, now bore the scars of neglect, faded paint peeling under the assault of weather, a leaky roof that turned rainy days into soggy nightmares, and a fryer that sputtered like an old engine on its last legs. Elena's struggles were not just financial, they were emotional, a deep-seated loneliness that gnawed at her during quiet moments, reminding her of the boy she had loved and lost years ago, a boy named Alex who had promised her the world before circumstances tore them apart. The city had swallowed her whole, transforming her from a hopeful girl into a woman hardened by disappointment, yet beneath that armor lay a vulnerability she guarded fiercely. Customers came and went like shadows, some rude, others kind in fleeting ways, but none truly saw her, the way her shoulders slumped after a long shift, or how she sometimes stared at the horizon, imagining a life beyond the steam and grease. Debts piled up like unspoken regrets, the truck needed repairs she couldn't afford, and her siblings, now grown but still dependent in subtle ways, added to the invisible burden she carried. There were nights when Elena would park the truck in a dimly lit lot, curl up in the cramped back seat of her old car, and let the tears flow, wondering if this was all there was to her existence, a cycle of serving others while starving her own soul. She ignored the world around her as much as it ignored her, focusing solely on the rhythm of orders and payments, her interactions brief and impersonal to shield herself from further hurt. It was in this state of quiet resignation that the Millionaire CEO entered her line, his expensive watch glinting under the sun, his posture exuding the confidence of someone who had conquered boardrooms and built empires from nothing. Elena barely glanced at him as he approached, her mind already drifting to the evening's inventory count, assuming he was just another privileged soul slumming it for a taste of authentic street food. As the line shuffled forward, the man, Alex, though she didn't know it yet, watched her with a mixture of nostalgia and heartache, his sharp business acumen momentarily softened by the flood of memories. He had risen from humble beginnings, much like her, but fate had dealt him a different hand, a scholarship to a prestigious university, a series of savvy investments, and now he helmed a tech conglomerate that spanned continents. Yet success had come at a cost, sleepless nights haunted by the girl he had left behind, the one who had believed in him when no one else did. Their story had begun in that same coastal town, two kids from broken homes finding solace in each other's company, sharing stolen kisses under pier lights and whispering promises of a future together. But when Alex's family relocated abruptly due to his father's job, communication faded in the era before smartphones, letters lost in the mail, and life pulled them in opposite directions. He had searched for her over the years, his wealth affording private investigators, but Elena had changed her last name after her father's death to escape creditors, vanishing into anonymity. Now, standing mere feet away, he felt the years melt, his heart pounding as he rehearsed the words that might bridge the chasm time had created. The moment built like a gathering storm, the air thick with unspoken tension as Elena handed change to the customer before him, her movements efficient but weary. Alex stepped up, ordering a simple taco as if it were the most important decision of his life, his voice steady despite the turmoil within. She prepared it without looking up, her focus on the grill, until he leaned in slightly, his breath warm against the counter's edge, and whispered those fateful words that shattered her routine. The world seemed to pause, the honking cars faded, the chatter of the crowd dulled, and Elena's hands froze mid-motion, her eyes lifting slowly to meet his. Recognition dawned like a sunrise after a long night, a mix of shock, joy, and pain flashing across her face as fragments of their shared past resurfaced, the laughter on beach walks, the comfort in each other's arms during stormy evenings, the heartbreaking goodbye that had left scars on both their hearts. In that instant, the barriers she had built crumbled, and tears welled unbidden, her ignored existence suddenly illuminated by the light of remembrance. From there, the narrative unfolded in waves of emotion, as Alex gently coaxed her into conversation after her shift, the food truck closing for the day under the amber glow of streetlights. He shared his journey, the climbs and falls that led to his fortune, but more importantly, the void her absence had left, a hollow success that echoed without her. Elena, hesitant at first, poured out her own tale of hardship, the loss of her father, the sacrifices for her family, the dreams deferred that now felt like distant echoes. Their reunion was not a fairy tale rush, it was laced with the raw edges of reality, suspicions of his motives, her pride clashing with his offers of help, and the slow rebuilding of trust amid shared vulnerabilities. He didn't swoop in as a savior, instead, he listened, truly saw her struggles, and began to integrate into her world, helping. With truck repairs, not with money alone but with his time, rolling up his sleeves to fix the leaky roof and share in the daily grind. Elena's challenges didn't vanish overnight, bills still loomed, self-doubt lingered, but his presence ignited a spark, reminding her of her worth and reigniting her artistic passions that had lain dormant. As weeks turned to months, their bond deepened, evolving from rekindled friendship to a profound love tempered by life's trials, with vivid scenes of late-night talks in the truck's shadow, where stars overhead mirrored the hope in their eyes, and moments of tension when old wounds resurfaced, only to be healed through honest vulnerability. Elena faced her deepest fears, opening up to help, allowing herself to dream again, and began to transform, her truck evolving into a symbol of resilience rather than burden, perhaps even expanding with Alex's subtle guidance. The story crescendoed in emotional peaks, like the day she unveiled a painting inspired by their reunion, tears streaming as he whispered affirmations of her talent, and quieter valleys where they navigated the disparities of their worlds, proving that true connection transcended wealth or status. In the end, as they stood together on that same coastal pier from their youth, the waves crashing like applause for their second chance, Elena realized that ignoring the world had been her shield, but opening her heart had been her salvation. Their story, once fractured, now whole, inspired those around them, her siblings finding their paths, the food truck thriving as a community hub, and left an indelible mark on the city that had once overlooked her. It was a testament to the enduring power of memory, kindness, and the whispers that can change everything. If this story has touched your heart and reminded you of the beauty in unexpected reunions, please like, comment, and share your thoughts. Let us know how it moved you. And before we wrap up, drop a comment with the line, "Still remember me," if you've ever experienced a moment like this in your own life.